Hi and welcome to the Bluzz. Now I've been racking my brains to come up with a new word for this, and I haven't been able to because I want to, as you would have discovered from looking around the site, eliminate the word blow from trumpet playing, the trumpet playing vernacular, because blow suggests which you can feel tighten up everything, and it's putting more force through, like if you were to do that into the instrument, way too much force. You don't need to put that much energy through. Where if we can substitute that for the backswing, then the release, the effort level is far less. Now, I guess the word bluzz, which originally meant a blow / buzz, both of which words I don't particularly like, but now it's bluzz because it's neither blow nor buzz. So we can think about it that way, perhaps. I'll probably change my mind. Okay, now the whole idea of it is there's an ingrained idea. You ask anyone that doesn't really know about playing how to make a sound on a brass instrument, they either won't know or they'll tell you to buzz your lips together. And more often than not, they'll go, and instantly if you do that, you'll feel your body strain, your chest and neck strain, and your lips tighten up excessively. And if that is the innate instinct, the idea of how to play, which it is for most players, then before you even touch the instrument, you're in a position of force. You're in a mindset of force. Now, you might not feel it as being force, but let me tell you, it is far more strain and it's overexertion that you actually don't need to do. We want to eliminate that completely from your playing. You will have seen, if you look through the 5 basic videos, that's explained in a lot more detail. So, but the blow buzz basically touches on what Arnold Jacobs was talking about. So what I'm going to do is explain it using the backswing and the support, and demonstrate that what he was after was not a tight... Now, trust me, when I was young, running around the backyard, I used to make the sound of what I thought sounded like a race car. And I'd roll my bottom lip under and do that for hours, and that was way before I knew what a trumpet was. So then when I picked up the trumpet and we were told to buzz our lips together, I thought, great, I'm at an advantage here. How wrong I was. Anyway, so what Stamp is after is movement of a lot of air. So what that does is it strengthens up the muscles of the embouchure and really firms your corners up. Now, I know a stack of great players that can't buzz very high but can play extremely high because they've got the concepts covered. But that's not to be confused. The tightness of the buzz isn't to be confused with range, because I also know people that can buzz very high that can't play high on the instrument because there's so much energy and strain going into the playing. It gets into the way of how things are supposed to work. So what we want to do, if you're looking at the Stamp exercises, he wants you to move a lot of air, draw the corners in. If you do ah-oo, ah-oo, and then... Now he says that the pitch that... an experiment with this is dead right. If the pitch that you would get on the instrument is about an octave higher than the pitch of the buzz itself. Now he also stipulates that in the mouthpiece the lips aren't making a sound. So the whole principle of it is tension in the aperture corners, but he certainly doesn't want you going or it's and you'll notice if you do that, you're still going to have more strain in the body than if you go. So this is where tongue position, jaw position, aperture corners, air direction, all of that starts to come into it. So instantly in 10 seconds I've mentioned 4 or 5 different schools or approaches to trumpet playing. Strange, because it's, in a way it's a very simple machine that's working, yet we've analysed it to the hilt and basically confused ourselves. Now, if we can go back to getting air in, letting the body do its thing without forcing. If I put a bit of tension into the aperture, it'll start vibrating. Then if I change shape or change the tension in the aperture corners, so that you need to differentiate between what I just did there and this. Squeezing and tightening. Now, I also need you to have understood the, especially lesson 4 when we talk about the lead pipe. If you ask someone how to make a sound on a brass instrument, you go like this. If you do that, you grab the mouthpiece, this is what it's going to sound like. That's really hard work, and that's not what we want it to sound like at all. So what we do is go, now in changing that sound, I've actually started to open up the aperture. I've started to relax the aperture. So I guess it's just a way of looking at how sound is created, and we want to do it the most efficient way possible. And so if the body is relaxed and doing it efficiently, it's going to resonate better. So the sound's going to be better. So if I take it a step further and go, okay, if I'm buzzing my lips together, clearly that's not what we want to sound like. So then you have a student go, okay, let's open the sound up, I think is a term that we probably all use. So if you develop the big breath, the full breath, not forced, but a nice, then the release, and start and open the sound up. What I've done to open the sound up is to relax the lips. Okay, so we've ended up back with a relaxed and open aperture. Please check out the 5 basic videos if you haven't seen that, because that's what we're aiming at. So we might as well just start there. So then changing pitch once the aperture's relaxed. What Stamper's after is getting you to change pitch. Okay, and it's becoming familiar with that feeling of the aperture corners. Now, well, let's just do an experiment. If I was to hold the tension the same, it's really super loose. If I was to put tension into the aperture, now this is where you need to differentiate between corner tension and tension in the aperture in the vibrating tissue itself. So you can hear that there is about that octave difference. I'd prefer to go because it means that we're not inhibiting the air and we're not pushing hard. And then if you remember that there's less air goes through the instrument as you get higher, then you're going to realize that you don't have to push. You're going to start and recognize corner tension and shape. That's the purpose of the Bluzz. So be aware to that you don't strain, that if you need to do some lip buzzing, and it's a good pitch thing as well to start and feel the vibration in your body. If you need to do some buzzing, let's do the Bluzz, and don't do it for very long. It's very taxing. So just remember that you've got to keep the air moving, don't force, find the shape, but make sure that when you're doing it, you don't try and relate it to the exact pitch on the instrument. Okay, I hope that helps. That's the Bluzz.